This week is going to be a big week, especially tomorrow, June the 13th, but also especially June the 14th. It's going to be a very volatile and very pivotal week. The fact that this is exactly happening while volatility is sitting at historic lows is no coincidence. We are about to see a massive move being created for Bitcoin. And at the same time, this cup and handle, falling wedge and bull flag is about to break out anytime soon. So make sure to hit that like button. And as always, let's start off with a very short-term Bitcoin price action before we are actually headed in towards a very interesting in-depth analysis. Because, well, having a look in towards the short-term Bitcoin price action, we can still be seeing that we are still trading in this downtrend. And I've been saying this for quite some time already. Look, I've been seeing people switching very bullish right here already. But the very important thing right here is to keep in mind that yes, indeed, for the longer term charts, well, Bitcoin is starting to look very good. But of course, we have had this very significant rejection right there. And ever since we got that rejection, well, we have been trading in this downtrend. And I've been saying for a very long time, in the shorter term trend, I am not willing to be flipping bullish just yet. Yes, indeed, in the longer term trend, well, of course, Bitcoin is starting to look very good, but I will be opening my long positions and will be flipping very bullish whenever we will be seeing this downtrend being broken and we are once again going to be starting to trade in towards an uptrend. And until that will be happening, well, I will still be very bearish on the short term Bitcoin price action. Okay, but one thing that is already telling me that we will be seeing some kind of a bounce coming in anytime soon from this level is of course this CME gap that we still have down below us. We have created another CME gap, and in the past you can clearly see that whenever we created all of these CME gaps, well, we filled these CME gaps quite instantly. Right after we created these CME gaps, well, we filled it, and we can be expecting this exact same thing to be happening once again. So in this case, because we created this CME gap, we could be seeing some kind of a bounce towards the upside to be filling up our CME gap. And of course, at the same exact time, yes, we are trading at major support levels. So it would definitely be actually very likely that we are actually going to be getting some kind of a bounce. Okay, but the very important thing is that I think the volatility will definitely start to be kicking in by tomorrow. Because of course, tomorrow we are going to be getting our inflation rate getting released on June the 13th. And this will be one of the most important events for Bitcoin. And if you do want to be updated about this inflation rate right here, I will be posting it as soon as possible on my Twitter page. So be sure to be following me on Twitter. And if any big moves were to happen on a Bitcoin chart, I will also be updating you guys as soon as possible on my YouTube channel. But basically about this inflation rate that will be getting released tomorrow, well, why it is so important is of course because the Fed is trying to bring inflation down towards the 2% mark, which is of course needed for a healthy economy. They are trying to do this by increasing the interest rates, but higher interest rates would mean less incentive for investors to be willing to invest in assets like the stock market, but also like Bitcoin. So for us as investors, we actually want interest rates to be as low as possible for a bullish market. And the Fed will be hiking the interest rates as long as they are not reaching their goal of hitting the 2% inflation mark. So we of course want the interest rates to come down for bullish markets. But in order to see that, well, this inflation needs to come down all the way back towards the 2%. And we are currently sitting at 4.9%. And yes, we have come down quite significantly all the way from the 9.1%, now sitting at 4.9%, but we need to still come down towards the 2%. But well, this month we are expected to decrease quite a bit, all the way down towards 4.1%, or the TE forecast, which is about 4.3%. So that is quite a significant cool down and quite a significant decline. Okay, but the important thing is about these actual numbers. Well, this is already priced in towards the Bitcoin charts, because of course this data is already public for everyone to look at. So the current prices have already priced in this current inflation rate data that we are right now expecting. Okay, but if we will be seeing our inflation rate at the lower side, so at about 4.1%, or maybe even lower. If it will be lower than 4.1%, well, we are going to be seeing a huge pump happening for Bitcoin. But also, of course, on the contrary, if we are going to be seeing high inflation rate data still, so at about 4.3% or even higher, then of course the inflation rate will be coming in worse than expected, and then we might be seeing some kind of a sell-off in the short term. Okay, and this is of course because of our Fed interest rate hike decision that will be happening on June the 14th. So basically, if the inflation will be pretty low, well, we are going to be expecting a break from our current rate hikes, which will be very bullish for the Bitcoin markets. But if we will be seeing worse than expected inflation rates coming in, well, then the odds are going to be shifting pretty much, and it will be more likely that we will actually be seeing one more rate hike happening. Which of course, if that will be happening, it will be having very bearish effects on the Bitcoin market, and I think we will be crashing very significantly towards the downside. Now, of course, the odds are right now about 80% chances that we will be seeing a break from of our current rate hikes, which means the Fed is about to pivot anytime soon, and we will be cutting our rates anytime soon again, which is expected to be happening in the end of this year already. Other than that, while having a look in towards the longer term time frame, well, the dollar is still starting to look very weak right here. The dollar is still trading in this major downtrend on the daily time frame, as well as we are creating a hidden bearish divergence on the daily time frame. So it is still looking very weak for the dollar, and I would not be surprised to see the dollar actually trading at levels down below at this support right here. And of course, if the dollar is going to be declining once again, well, that would be very bullish actually for Bitcoin, because that would mean we are going to be seeing some kind of a bounce being created for Bitcoin against a USD pair. So all in all of this data that will be getting released tomorrow and in 2 days is looking pretty strong, with at the same time the dollar looking actually very weak, which in the end of the day is looking very good for Bitcoin. But of course, in the end of the day, it all depends on the actual data that we will actually be getting. And if you do want to be the first one to know, be sure to be following me on Twitter. And then of course, the larger term trend for Bitcoin is still looking very, very good. We are currently being supported by our bull market support band, which, as you can be seeing on this chart right here, has previously around shown a lot of significance for Bitcoin. It has shown a lot of support and resistance during bear markets and also during bull markets, as well as we are currently retesting our EMA ribbon on the weekly time frame, which is also looking very good. And previously around, this indicator has also shown a lot of significance during bull markets and bear markets, as well as of course on the monthly time frame. We are about to cross bullish on our MACD indicator. We are currently, of course, retesting our inverse head and shoulders breakout towards the upside. We are currently retesting the neckline of this breakout. And while this pattern breakout towards the upside has very significant breakout targets all the way up towards the 40k level. And of course, this neckline is coming from of this previous resistance that we got right here at the Luna collapse. Of course, also right here, previous resistance, right now turning in towards support, looking very good for the larger term trend for Bitcoin. Of course, also still being in this larger term daily uptrend for Bitcoin, which is also looking very good. And as well as this indicator previously around, this has shown a lot of significance during bull markets and bear markets, and you actually rather want to be longing the Bitcoin market whenever you are in such an uptrend on the super trend indicator. Now, of course, right here as well, we are still about to see our breakout anytime soon. About this breakout a little bit more later in this video, because this will be very important to watch, and I will be opening a trade based off this breakout that we will be getting of this falling wedge pattern, but a little bit more about that a bit later in this video, as well as this bull flag that we are also still creating, and also of course this cup and handle. So all in all, in the larger term time frame for Bitcoin, it is looking very good. We are having many signals right now indicating, all pointing towards the fact that we will be seeing a massive breakout anytime soon. This is one of the most bullish patterns Bitcoin can be getting, and we are right now about to see a breakout anytime soon. And this is probably going to be happening this week, because of course we are about to get this data getting in, and at the same time we are seeing that volatility is sitting at historic lows. And as you can be seeing all of the time, whenever the Bitcoin volatility is actually sitting at historic lows, well, you could be seeing massive moves being created right after. Right here, this was just the start of this massive bull run towards the upside. Right here, this was the start of a massive dump towards the downside. Right here, once again, this was a start of the bear market recovery phase. Right here as well, this was just before the FTX collapse. And right here, once again, we are getting this historic low volatility. So we are about to see massive moves, just like previously right here, about to be seen to be created anytime soon. So be sure to pay attention to the Bitcoin charts also, because whales are still accumulating and they are not selling yet. As you can be seeing during this whole bear market, well, whales have been accumulating and you want to be following the smart money, and this is the smart money, guys, and they are still not selling anything in this current dip. So probably we are not going to be dumping any further right here. Probably because these whales are just not selling yet. We are going to be seeing further price increases. So while all of this on-chain data is still looking very good, and it is still looking very likely that we will be getting a further increase in price. Okay, now of course for the altcoins, well, it is starting to look pretty bad. Of course, we have been talking about this symmetrical triangle we were forming right here on the Bitcoin dominance chart, and we have broken out towards the upside, breaking this previous resistance, and right now the Bitcoin dominance is pumping, of course, bleeding out all of these altcoins. Altcoins are right now bleeding because Bitcoin is taking over all of its market cap. I do believe because of this breakout we are seeing right here, the Bitcoin dominance is imminent to go all the way towards this 50.6% level I've drawn out right here, this resistance. I do believe we will be hitting this level before once again we will be seeing some kind of a rejection, and once again before seeing some money flowing in towards altcoins again. So keep that in mind. Also, the Ethereum against Bitcoin chart is also not looking very good. We are getting this rejection right here from of this symmetrical triangle, and I do believe this triangle is going to be decisive if we are going to be seeing a breakdown on the Ethereum against Bitcoin pair. Well, I will be allocating more money in towards Bitcoin and I will be selling off some Ethereum. But of course, if we will be breaking out towards the upside right here, I will be buying more Ethereum and I will be selling some Bitcoin. So this will also be a very decisive pattern. We are right now seeing some kind of a rejection, and I want to be seeing in which direction we are going to be breaking out. So all in all, it will be very important for Bitcoin to look in towards the chart. It will be very decisive right here, and if we are going to be breaking out towards the upside from of this falling wedge, I will be opening a massive Bitcoin trade. So guys, if you do want to be staying up to date about every single market development, be sure to be following me on Twitter. And guys, with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in another update video tomorrow morning. And guys, bye bye.